not knowing anyone to me is an excuse. I go to a coffee shop, I meet people from, different walks, similar walks. They're telling me something, I'm telling them something. I was just buying some castor oil pills the other day, and next thing you know, I'm giving this lady advice on a whole like fat burning regimen for her to do when she wakes up in the rising, and the next thing you know, we're talking about hair growth and things like that. Not knowing anybody is an excuse. We live in a world full of people. If nothing else, there is people. And so, like they say, there's plenty of fish in the sea. There is plenty of people. So when someone says, "Oh, I don't know anyone," well, that's cool because we're talking now. So what's up? What do you need with your business, or because maybe I know someone. Even if I don't need that service or that business, I know someone, or maybe I can just post. Support is free, and I'm big on that. Like, support is free. It just to share a post, just to and not just share it on social media. Like telling someone, hey, I know this person that does XYZ. Like you mentioned the time management lady that you had. Like, that's amazing because me and time management, man, that's been a challenge these last couple years with my husband being away. So, but you know, not knowing nobody is just an excuse.
Sup, my fellow hustlers? Like always, it's Elijah from the Side Hustler Society coming at y'all with another show. Real excited for this show because we're going to be tapping into something that most people haven't really thought about if they are going to be going into the full time when it comes to hustling. Yeah, we talk about side hustles, but y'all already know that I like to make content in a way that it's very malleable so it can apply to if you're doing what you're doing as a side hustle or if you're going to do it full time. But if you do step into the world of full time self employment or being a one person business, one thing that you're going to notice a few years in is you're going to have to wear a few different hats. And in doing so, you'll become pretty proficient in multiple things. Of course, you'll have that main thing that you'll be known for and you'll be professionally doing. But these other skill sets you picked up along the way can actually be monetized if you know how to do it right. In fact, I recommend that you have a plan to do so because eventually, whatever you're doing professionally, your main thing, will start to get slow because of the economy or whatever. And when that happens, this is going to be the difference between you going back to a job or you staying off of the job market. Because if you know how to monetize all your skill sets, then that's how you can stay afloat and maybe even thrive. But the question is, how do you manage to do that? If you become known for multiple things, how do you handle all that? How do you handle lead generation for multiple things? And I'll just use myself as an example. I think people are listening to this show or the Side Hustler Society in general because you fit in one of four categories. You want to make money with some kind of app. You want to make money with Airbnb or real estate. You want to make money as a content creator, or you want to make money as a freelancer or a one person business. So that's four things that I'm known for. And each one of them has their distinct ways of making money. And that's part of the reason I charge for consultations because not one person may want one thing. Just rephrase that. Not everyone wants the same thing. Someone might be coming to me for Airbnb advice. Someone may be coming to me for how to make money using these apps. And they're two completely different worlds. I bring that up to say that the ability to just monetize anything that's in your head is a skill set that you need to develop as an entrepreneur or if you're going to be going full time into the hustle. And that's why I'm really glad to be bringing on the guest we have today. But everyone calls her Yoshi. I met her a few months back at a cash flow event. For those of y'all that don't know, Robert Kiyosaki invented this game called Cash Flow Quadrant. And there are multiple like different types of meetups that allow you to play Cash Flow Quadrant or Rat Race. That's the official game name. It's just really a means of meeting more people that are on that type of entrepreneurial path. So you go network, maybe play a game or two, and that's how that goes. So that's how we ended up meeting. And she actually embodies a lot of what I'm saying in terms of being known for multiple things and knowing how to monetize them. She's known as Yoshi Mei, and she is a motivational rap artist, intuitive creative, and a real life alchemist. Her purpose is helping people transmute losses into gains, shift stuck energy into alignment, and turn their pain into power. She's all about helping folks put their pain in their purpose and get paid walking it. I hear that. Whether it's through music, movement, conversation, or community work, she activates high vibrations and real results. She bridges the gap between the grind and the spiritual realm because at the end of the day, healing and elevation go hand in hand with success. She is a military wife, mom of three, and a multi-layered entrepreneur who believes you can heal, elevate, and boss up all at the same time. For her, alignment and purpose are all the real flex, and getting paid in purpose is just the bonus. So, with her bio being done, let's go ahead and get into the show and bring her on.
Welcome to the Side Hustlers Society Podcast, the place where you can find out more about the hustles that are best for you. And of course, make more money in the process. Elijah has been in the gig economy and freelance space for over 8 years and has done over 4,000 deliveries on Uber Eats. Has several video editing clients, many properties on Airbnb, runs multiple YouTube channels, and is the author of the best-selling book, The Anatomy of Financial Success. It's his mission to empower people with the tools needed to be successful. Now, welcome your host, the king of the side hustles, Elijah Bilel.
Okay, we're officially live. Yoshi, how you doing today?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
Getting used to the summer. It kind of came
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
Did it? I feel like it's like this every summer.
Well, no, as far as like this year,
Mm,
it's recently started getting kind of hot, in my opinion. Like before the past, I'll say 2 weeks, I think it was
yeah.
just kind of modest temperature for a Texas summer.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was raining a lot too. So there's that. We had some interesting weather.
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah,
Hmm.
every like at least 2 to 3 days it was raining, so that probably played a role in that.
Yeah. It was bad.
But I'm not gonna complain too much because a few years ago, like we were in the triple digits and like
Hmm.
the high triple digits.
No,
But
we were. You're right.
I was speaking with this woman from Saudi Arabia that lives here, and she's telling me this is feeling too familiar. I was like, how so? She told me like over there, she's seen like temperatures like in the 120s before. I was like, oh gosh,
Oh, yeah. Well, my husband deployed to the Middle East. He was over there and it was triple digits all the time. They said the coolest time was at night. So,
yikes.
yeah.
So people moving here complain about the Texas heat, and we get to complain about that stuff. There's always something to complain about, right?
Hmm. Yep.
I wonder what they're complaining about over there.
It ain't the heat.
Right, right. But I'm just kind of living up to my name. Some people nickname me on the show. They call me the Weatherman because I tend to bring it up. Not,
Okay.
not the past few shows, so people might be thinking I've dropped the ball on that. So just
Hmm.
introducing it back in there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I appreciate you coming on the show because this season is about lead generation, and we'll get into that to a certain degree. But you kind of strike me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you're kind of a jack of multiple trades. Am I right? You got
Yes.
a few things going on.
Yes.
And one thing I think that, especially if you leave the 9 to 5 world, you'll probably become known for one thing, but you're probably going to become very good at a few different things. And there might be different ways you can monetize that if you just look at it from the right perspective. But the dominant society often crowbars us into like run one little racket and like that's all you're supposed to be. So I think this will give a good alternative perspective for people, especially people who are side hustlers that want to remove the word side and become a full time hustler, to have this kind of perspective.
Hmm.
But before we get into that, uh, I know because in your bio you had said it, but how did you become known as Yoshi? Because that's a nickname, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first things first, thank you for having me. Yoshi came as a nickname to Miyoshi. So
Oh.
Miyoshi is actually my middle name, my legal middle name. So people be like, that's not your real no, it's legal, it's my real middle name. And so because my first name, I guess, is complicated for most and it would get butchered so much, my mother would call me by my middle name a lot, out of many names. And so with that, I would go by my middle name. But then it was like, oh my gosh, can I call you Yoshi? And for years I was like, no, I don't want to be called Yoshi. And that's like my younger years. And then I want to say around maybe, what year was that? Maybe like 13, maybe 2012, sometime around that time when I moved to ATL. And I met a friend out there, and she was like, can I call you Yoshi? I'm just call you Yoshi. She's like, Yoshi's so dope, and went on this whole rant. And I was like, you know what? I love green. It's one of my favorite colors. I do usually like the character Yoshi, so I'm like, all right, why not? You're the only person. But then it spread it. Everybody was just like Yoshi. So everywhere I went, it was just Yoshi or Miyoshi. But so Yoshi kind of stuck, and that's just honestly how that came about.
And you said you like the character. I'm trying to think if we have the same person in mind, but what character are you talking about?
Yoshi
Yo.
on Mario.
Oh, yeah. So Nintendo. Okay, okay.
Yeah, on Nintendo.
I was thinking of video game too. Completely different character, but
Mm.
I don't know how you feel about fighting games, but I used to be a fan of Tekken back in the day. And there is a character called Yoshimitsu,
Mm-hmm.
and he got skills like with the sword. He's like the only person
Yeah.
who uses a sword, and I'm holding the comb like that's supposed to be something. But
Hey.
yeah, you got. Do you have some anime sword hiding in your closet? I laugh if that's the case because he has a mask, so
Yeah.
you could be the real Yoshi for all I know.
That is funny. I could be. Yeah. I totally forgot about him. Yeah, he was dope too. And yeah, I love fighting games.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. To a much lesser degree, some people do butcher my name too, and they would try and give me these. At least when I was younger, these
Okay.
nicknames like, "Hey, can I call you Eli?" No, you cannot. You know what? You can call me by my middle name. My middle name is Ray, so
Yeah.
not that many syllables, pretty easy to pronounce. Feel free to use that, but you're
Hmm.
not calling me some kind of middle name. If you can't say the whole word Elijah, then just use my middle name.
Yep. And that's where I went with it too.
Cool, cool. So, with that kind of being said, I know the audience is probably curious. Overall, I know there's a few different things, so feel free to mention all of them. But overall, what do you do?
Well, I'm definitely a multi hyphenate. So, um, Hmm. Let's see. Where do I start? First things first, I am a mother, a military wife. That is a whole job in itself. So I'm a mother of three amazing, beautiful children. And my husband is in the U.S. Army. He's the best soldier ever. Call me biased. And outside of that, we'll start with first. I am a motivational artist, so basically a rapper because there's motivational singers too. So I'm a motivational artist. So I rap. I just pivoted into cybersecurity. I had to pivot from my former career field. So as a medical aesthetician, that was. So yeah, I just pivoted into tech, which is super awesome. Um, and I mean, gosh, I guess we can just kind of go like go along because there's so much. I don't like having to list everything and like feel like I'm boring people because I could be talking for a minute. Which is kind of why we're here, I know, but yeah, we'll start with that. I'm basically not shy to the camera. So ever since I was a child, I've been in front of the camera, whether it's for dancing, modeling, acting. So dance, although I haven't been in the studio recently, it's definitely something that it's still here. It's just a matter of when I can get there. So I'm a former professional dancer. Um, I'm trying to think of so many other things. Oh, also, as a spiritualist, I offer certain spiritual services like Reiki healing, energetic healing, inner child therapy, things like that. So now that I have stepped into this role outside of the 9 to 5, should I clock back in, it will be in the tech field. Um, these are some of the things that I will take on to like my OG clients. So it hasn't been pushed to the public as much. But I do have a few clients from back when I was working like in the med spa and things like that that kind of spin the block on me and they'll come get their services. So yeah, we'll start there and then we can just kind of add in as we go.
Okay. Yeah, I know it can be kind of a challenge to like I said, society just kind of puts us in one box, and we
Hmm.
eventually break out that box and develop multiple things
Yeah.
as entrepreneurs or business owners. But initially, when you do make that switch, when someone does ask you like what you do or multiple things you do, it can actually take a few years before you kind of summarize it into one like statement or yeah,
That good elevator pitch.
yeah.
Still
And
working on that.
and the thing is, it's not well. You can sit there and try and work on it as much as you want. It doesn't work. It one day it's just going to come to you,
Yeah.
and when it comes to you, you can just keep refining it. But in my experience, there's no way to speed the process up, which
Hmm.
is kind of crazy. I guess it's just kind of an intuition thing.
Yeah. I can see that. I do believe some people got it down packed. But yeah, I can see also your perspective as well. And
Well, a
I did
lot of people
content creator too. Yeah.
say
Like
what?
I said, I did forget to mention content creator. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's right there when you click my page.
Oh, that's a big bucket right there. That can kind of eclipse a lot of what you already said. Maybe minus the cybersecurity, but everything
Mm,
else you said can kind of fall under content creator because I imagine that you are making content about that stuff too, right?
yes.
Quite naturally. Okay. So everything that you mentioned so far, are you even if it's not currently, you've made money with them in the past, or you're currently making money with them, right?
Yes.
Cool, cool. So how can I phrase this next question? Everything you just told me, you're known for each one of those things professionally on some level, right?
Yes.
How do you feel how did that end up coming about? Did you strive to have that happen? Like, hey, I want to be known as a content creator and as a dancer and as a Reiki master, or like you just learned these things and then it just kind of happened that people kept running their mouth about you and then, oh, I guess I'm a professional doing this now.
No. So a lot of me walking in my purpose now and utilizing these gifts, I've had them since I was younger. Um, the only thing that would have changed is like my 9 to 5, if I'm being honest. And even then, I was able to, for the most part, always incorporate my gifts. Even from working back at Kroger years ago while I was in college. Um, I would meet people there and then end up talking to them and they're like, oh my gosh, you just speak so much life into me, things like that. So I was always networking. Like, that's just kind of what I do. So these are just gifts that were natural. I just had them. I believe this is what I'm called here to do. I'm called to, be seen. And in that spotlight, that is where I will, continue to motivate others, inspire them, empower them, invigorate them, all the things. And so it didn't just come about like as a child. I've always been very intuitive, very spiritual, very different, very oddball out, as we now know as like the black sheep, turned golden child, or the chosen ones. That's always kind of been me and my family, and even outside, like even in friend groups, I'm known as the hippie friend, or they used to say the weird friend, but now the weird friend is accepted, and now people want to be a part of that. When it comes to content creation, back in the day, I always was like, I always was the one with the camera. Like, let's snap a picture. Let's take this memory. Ooh, I love putting people onto different things. And it's like, you should get paid for that. Back then, I just didn't know how. So the only thing that changed might be my knowledge in the field as I continue to grow. But aside from that, no, I've always kind of been that, like, social butterfly, social elite, uh, back when that was a thing, social elites. And
Wait, hold on, back up. What is social leaks for those people that don't know what you're talking about?
so, or socialites, let me say. Hopefully, I'm saying it right. I always say socialites, but basically, those are like the influencers, the top influencers, the social butterflies. The like the in crowd, top of the game influencers. So when you're socially, like, you're going to different social events, you're
Social lead, like social lead, like
elite,
what's the
like
word? Social
elite,
elite.
kind of like putting those two together. Yes.
Oh, okay, okay, gotcha.
So yeah, I've kind of always been like that. want to snap pictures, put people on to different stuff, different businesses, things like that. I've always been supportive of businesses. I've always been connected within my community because I believe as a collective we have to support each other anyway, and you start with the community first. So all of this is really just nothing new. I think if anything, I've just evolved.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's something pretty interesting about the. You've always kind of been this sociable person, and it seems like if anything, you just kind of learn how to wrap a business around this as opposed to the other way around.
Mhm.
And I just want to say this: so many people. Look, I actually have a real life story. So I've already told you about the veggie outers before. There was a particular meetup. One of the newer members, approached me like, "Hey, I'd be real interested in like doing what you do, which is
Mhm.
being a content creator." And I was like, "Okay, well, I mean, you could ask me any questions." But when it came to do the video review for the veggie outers, which everyone there gives a video review on what they thought of the restaurant, he's like, "Oh, I don't want to do like a video review." I'm like, "Well, feel free. You can skip out if you don't want to." But
Mhm.
that's kind of contradicting what you just told me. Like, it doesn't matter what type of business you're in. If you're not willing to get in front of the camera, I almost feel like this world isn't for you.
Yes, unless you're going faceless. But you are absolutely right because we're all on camera whether we know it or not. We're right under that like bird's eye view. But no, unless he wanted to go faceless, that's a big thing on social media too. That kind of I noticed like I took a webinar before and a lot of people were like, I don't want to be on camera, and I'm like, what in the world? But then I totally forgot about faceless, and then when I was like, oh yeah, this makes sense, the faceless content, it's actually big. Me personally, I just kind of like hopping in there. I like the impersonable, people connect with real and raw, and not that faceless isn't, but I mean they can see you, they know you, you know what I mean. I feel like faceless is perfect for if you're one of those people that's mysterious and you're like, I own this business but people don't know yet, you know what I mean. Like I would have a business that was faceless and I wouldn't tell nobody that's mine. I would just keep promoting and pushing on a whole new different, you know what I'm saying, identity, and watch that grow. Then I would be faceless. So
Well, that has a pro and con. Like
mhm,
the pro to being a faceless is, I guess, there's anonymity, so no one knows who you are. So you can walk outside and not have people approaching you, stuff like that. And if it is faceless, it's not dependent on you. So
mhm.
you could theoretically, is he okay? Or
Oh yeah, he's having a great time.
okay, all right.
He's-
But yeah, theoretically, you could pass that channel on to someone else, and they could take over because
mhm,
people are less attached to a voice. So if they just hear a different voice, they can get over that pretty fast. Versus if you're on the camera and then like other people start appearing, they're really tuning in for you, so the views
mhm,
can really tank. But the opportunity cost is if you do appear on camera, I feel like people overlook this. You
mhm.
should be building stuff in your local market too, and you're building stuff online, but still have this synergy where they can kind of feed off of each other. And you don't get that if you're going faceless. So
Right.
it is kind of a pros and cons trade offs, huh?
Yeah, it is. But I like being in front of the camera, and I don't mind doing faceless. I don't mind doing both. I would do both. Maybe on a bad hair day or something.
Not good.
But yeah, I can totally see your perspective on that, and I agree. There's pros and cons to both for sure.
Right, right. So swinging it back to, I know people want to talk about the money quite naturally. So how do you feel that you were able to become? Well, you were already good at all these things, but when it came to figuring out how to monetize these things, how did you go about that? Like, did you ever struggle with figuring out how to make money with these things? Like, we could use content creation for an example, or maybe even Reiki.
I won't say I struggled. I think it's just a matter of you either don't know and then you start to know. So I ask questions, try to research. Um, I wouldn't call it a struggle. I think anytime you're trying to make money doing something, it can be a challenge, but when you're called to do it, the money will come to you. You'll attract it versus having to chase it. So, if anything, I just learned just different avenues or better ways to do, certain things, whether it be through content creation or, the Reiki. Because before, there was a time where most spiritualists or like spiritual facilitators, they did this for free. So this was not something that people would typically always pay for. Maybe occasionally, but usually like even going out the country and things like that to go with the shamans and stuff. A lot of they now, because of the way the world is going, they're charging for it, and I guess it's considered moving smarter. But at one point it was kind of free, but not free to just be like it wasn't taken serious. It was just, if you knew, you knew. And when you would go to these ceremonies, or if you knew somebody that did this, it just kind of happened, like walking in a church and asking someone to pray for you or having a prophet speak to you, things like that. They're not going to say, okay, let me give you my prices just to talk to you. Now, of course, that's another story as far as, tithes, offering and stuff like that goes towards the church. But, at one point it was free. So now I wasn't brought up on charging people for that. Now it's just something that, well, yeah, that's energy work, and it's nothing to play with. So, of course, that's I believe in an energetic exchange or an exchange at some point. So, yeah, now charging is the best way to go, especially in this world. And I'm a mom. I got kids to feed. I got babies. So I'm working with your energy transfers. Definitely going to get paid for that. Music, there's tons of artists getting paid for that. A lot of us do it because we love it, but also, why not get paid to exist? A lot of people are doing it. So it's just finding your own avenue in your way. So I won't say that I struggled. I just started figuring it out and just hopping on board.
Hmm. Interesting. So, like, it's funny you say that because I've been a cosmologist. I think that's what he's officially known as, at a conference called Vid Summit. And his clients are flying him out to Panama and all kinds of places, to give them full chart readings in person. And I
Yeah.
would say that I think the term that was popular back in the early like 2000s is light worker. If you're doing light
Hmm.
work,
Yeah.
then the people start charging for it. So I guess y'all would fall in that category. So I'm glad to see that it's come a long way in terms of people being able to make a living off of it, because I think it's probably just been in the background for far too long, and people have these skills, but then they're struggling to pay their bills or struggling to eat, and that was
Yeah.
never right. But
And oh, go ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, especially in America, like overseas, they were probably okay with, now they're probably on board with charging, but overseas they didn't really need all that. Like, they didn't need that much. Like, America's so different. Like, even if you go overseas to get, to do certain ceremonies, it's cheaper. So, here they're charging you thousands of dollars, and you can go overseas and get it for like not even a fraction of that price. So, but it makes sense because it's America. Like, it doesn't, but it does. You know what I mean? Just because of the way, how everything's so expensive. Like, yeah, in the world, period, but definitely in America. But no, yeah, it's definitely cheaper overseas. And yeah, at one point, because it was a gift, you just felt like you had that calling and that gift, um, you know, and you understood your purpose. So you just kind of acted on that.
Mm.
And in return, not necessarily that you expect anything, but you get what you put out. So you would receive good things anyway. So great things would come to you. So there was never really this crazy need for it. But yeah, there were times people probably did struggle to pay their bills. But so now it's kind of a great thing that you can, get paid for it in some form or fashion, because there's a lot that goes into energy work. Even being a light worker, it's a lot. So, but rewarding.
So since we're on the topic, how do you feel about pricing? Like in terms of offering your services, you actually just kind of broke down how pricing for this stuff is still relatively new. So how did
Hmm.
you go about it initially when it came to putting a dollar value on these services that you're offering? Because a lot of businesses, there's usually some kind of blueprint they can follow. Like okay, let me look at my competitors. Okay, so they're offering this for a consultation or they're offering this for this type of service. Well,
Mm-hmm.
where do I fit in the market? Okay, well, I'm not as good as them, so I need to charge cheaper, or well, I'm way better than them, I could charge more. There's at least some starting place for them to figure out what to charge. But with this being so new and what you do, how did you go about figuring out what to charge?
Honestly, I seek the advice from some of my, I'll say, like, spiritual associates. I just seek the advice. I ask questions, and I just pretty much do my own research. And then it's also about knowing your worth too. So yeah, this person could be better or I could be better at something, but it's really just about what felt good to me when it comes to like spiritual services, what feels good to me and as far as what I'm worth. And I think the only challenge was sometimes people would see my prices and be like, "Girl, you should be charging more than what you're doing." So I actually was dumbing it down and watering it but it wasn't that I was trying to. I thought that was like enough. Like, okay, this is fair, And the only thing I did really take into consideration was also the economy, but also the fact, like I said, too. I know my calling, so but now it's like you got to kind of be smarter to stay like above, financially. But at that time, it was just like I know what I'm doing. I know the great things that I get back. Like I tell people all the time, I'm a good luck charm. You do good to me, great things will happen. And people have seen it happen like that, like same day or right after I said it, or like in right after I said it in the midst of them doing something. So it's just karma. I factor in a lot of those things. I ask for guidance from the Most High, even like, okay, does this make sense? Or point me in the direction to the people that can help me understand how to do this. So I definitely research. Definitely do like compare and contrasting, just to make sure that I'm being fair to myself as well, and consider the fact that yeah, I do have a family, but also not to be greedy, if you will, because I have so many other gifts that get paid for. So I really just research is probably my biggest thing, and asking questions from people who are already doing it or doing better than me in that. I won't even say better. They're just more seasoned in that area. So
Okay, cool. So, hmm, I'm I guess the best way I could put this is so if you came up with some new kind of service that is in your genre of what you offer, uh, I'm thinking of like how to put this applicable to the audience. Would your first step be like to Google it and then like kind of see what's out there, then do some compare and contrasting as far as prices, then see okay maybe I'll start closer to the bottom, and as people value your services and they start telling you you should be charging more, maybe you'll start to increase your prices from there, kind of like that maybe.
I'll say maybe that's how I started out. But prices do change. The economy changes, things change. So that's how I started out at first. But not Google. At first, I called up on, like, people would say, "Oh, my friends," but these are associates because I don't call everybody my friend. But my, associates, and I have family members even that will see they're more seasoned. That's back when they used to do it for free, or go into doing their retreats overseas. So now it's just like, okay, once I've had these conversations with these people, um, that's kind of where I would do the breakdown as far as like, well, what would you charge for this, or what have you charged? And then the people that are charging more now, I'll go to them and ask them like, hey, why is it that you charge this much? May I ask? Because I would like to learn XYZ. People love to help people they trust. Um, so as long as they know, like, I'm not coming for them and their business, they had no problem giving me the guidance that I needed. Because, I mean, some people don't care about that and they're just genuine and love to just see another person win and want to help. And then there's some people that are like, hold on, they're very protective, which understandably so because of things they may have came across in the past. Honestly, pricing started out with just a conversation. And I was just blessed enough for people to give me that. And the only time I used Google was like, okay, I guess to check my competitors, business wise competitors. So to see what they're offering in the area. And I do take in consideration the area that I'm in. Because although we're in a big metroplex, then there's still the smaller cities, prices kind of fluctuate. So, if I move out to like a further part into northern Dallas or something, although I'm in a very nice area, at the same time, they may pay a little more. Things are a little more pricier up there. But if I'm getting so much clientele, then maybe I'll just I don't have to get as high as everybody else. I'll kind of like ride right here because now I'm looking at my competitors. So, if I'm up there with them, there's a whole bunch of y'all, but it's like, ooh, what can I get? I get this kind of cheaper here, but it's not about being cheap. It's just, just playing the game, like, watching your competitors and things like that. Just like the fast food restaurants do. So I used to be in sales as well. So just watching, your competitors and their rates and learning how to fit in there and drawing your clientele. And then what else can you offer differently than the rest? So,
Yes. So a game plan for Frisco will be different from a game plan for Oak Cliff.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like the foundation of what you said is actually your network and family. So
Yeah.
like since you put a decent amount of time early on in developing your network, when it came to offering your services and pricing and all that stuff, you had an active community that could support you in your endeavors from a knowledge perspective. I'm not just talking about like them buying or whatever. I'm sure they did, but just from a knowledge perspective.
Yeah. I gain a lot of people based off the knowledge, but a lot of people can also just kind of sense something about me. I've heard that my entire life. So to just know, um, sorry, I'm paying attention to the kids, but to just know like somebody has this, like, what is it? And then if I do open up and tell people, they're like, oh, maybe that's it, or oh, I was interested in this, or I would like to talk to you about this. So yeah, I guess knowledge definitely plays a part. Um, and energy, honestly, I think it all definitely plays a part. And then word of mouth. So that's always nice. With a lot of the spiritual services and things like that, I would just let my clients tell who they told, because like I said, I didn't go fully public at that time. So they would bring me in clients there, and I was okay at that time with it just being, that side hustle, because I didn't know, for a lot of what I did, I didn't know if I wanted to fully take on the entire public, if that makes sense, um, when it came to just that particular area of what I do. So yeah, I
Okay.
just gained trust too. So
What's up, everyone? Hopefully, you're enjoying the material that you're watching right now at this moment. Most people in today's world want to make money on their own terms. They also want the standard American dream that we've all been sold. For the most part, that entails getting a house, setting yourself up for retirement, and having a decent investment portfolio. That's cool and all, but have you ever asked the question, why exactly is there support to have all that stuff as an employee, but not as someone who's a freelancer, a business owner, or someone who's self-employed? I've asked that same question too. That's why I've decided to start the Self-Made Business Academy. Unfortunately, when you decide to go into business for yourself, there's not as many resources that I would like to see helping you facilitate that transition. We often have so many questions such as, how are we going to get our leads for business? How does marketing work? And what are the tactics and strategies that would work best for my personality type? And finally, while most people would desire to get a house, the process for qualifying for a mortgage for a house or even a higher tier apartment in the middle of downtown is different for someone who is self-employed versus someone who works a job. If you want support through all these endeavors and more, I would encourage you to join the Self-Made Business Academy. By joining the Self-Made Business Academy Pro Group, you'll get access to all current existing courses as well as future ones, access to our PDF library and frameworks, workshop replays, and all playbooks. In addition to this, you'll be able to join our weekly office hours where you'll get to talk to me about some of the issues you may be facing as a self-employed person once per week. You'll also get access to live webinar training events and invites to in-person meetups if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and early access to new products. So if you've left the 9 to 5 or you aspire to leave the 9 to 5 one day and you want to know not only how to survive in this world of being self-employed, but also thrive in the process, join the Self-Made Business Academy today. Click the link in the description to get started. Now, let's get back to the broadcast. Cool. So, moving on from that,
Mm-hmm.
people are probably wondering, since you do multiple things,
Mm-hmm.
like what will be your main way of like making money right now, or like what's the biggest thing that's like bringing in the bread right now?
I will honestly say it would actually come from, yeah, there's quite a few. Like I have also, I forgot to mention earlier, my custom body adornment business. There's that. Um,
Wait,
Sometimes,
hold on. What is that? You said custom.
oh, my bad. Yeah, it's called Yoshi Wasted. So I make custom body adornments. That's waist beads, bracelets, like
Gotcha.
unisex bracelets. So that's the crystal beads. Um, like any body piece, you name it, I can pretty much make it. Most people just wanted waist beads mostly, and then guys wanted bracelets. So that was like the bread and butter at the time, for a while. So I kind of took a mini break on that, but I still get people trickling in asking, like, can I make this piece or whatever. So I'll typically do that. Um, let's see. And then different gigs here and there. I mean, because like I said, I also dance, so if a gig comes up and I might need to act in a music video or I might need to go dance, like I can be as booked and busy as I would like, but also considering got kiddos, timing, things like that. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Okay.
just getting paid to exist, really, just to be me.
You get what?
Huh?
You said you're gonna what?
Paid to exist, to be me, like just paid in my purpose. Like I'm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think this next question is pretty good, and I think that a lot of people are actually in our boats, in terms of they just know multiple things, and they
Hmm.
might be able to monetize a lot of those things, but they don't know how. I think one key thing, and this is going to go back to lead generation, is to let people know that you offer certain things so that you're at least on their radar. Then you might get contacted later, like, "Hey, you do such and such. Can you do this for me? Or are you taking on new clients?" So I want to ask you, like, when you're doing like multiple things, how do you subtly let like customers of like one service know that you offer another service or product or something that might benefit them, or do you even do it subtly? Do you do it more direct? If you feel like what you can offer is of value to them and they're already a customer of something else.
That will be through the consultation. Typically, I'll just get asked how much, excuse me, a particular service is, and if they already know, or they're like, I want this done, or I need to, I got some stuff I need to heal, or I feel like something's just on me, stuff like that.
Mhm.
So when charging with that, I can kind of go in my brain and I'm like, all right, I already have a price list, so I can kind of know this is probably the service that they need. So I just break it down to them that one service. I do offer other services. And if you're interested in that, we can talk about that. Or I'll just send you my price list. And then sometimes it's okay, well, what else? So then I'll go into whatever else, or I may ask, what else are you interested in? Um, Only because, like I said, I just started going back more public now. I wasn't public before. So I literally was one of those, like, if you know kind of things when it came to that. Um, if I was charging for something else, as far as like gigs and stuff, dancing, acting, that's a different story. But for this, if they wanted to know, like if they just wanted a Reiki session, consultation. If they're wanting, to do, typically we will say they need to start out with 3 sessions. So I will give my price for 1 session, but I will be direct with, you should have 3, and then being consistent is key, just like with anything that you do in life.
Mhm.
Consistency is key. Because yeah, you can get this 1 session and feel great, or you can get 3 sessions and feel great, or you can not feel great and you're like, what the heck? you know, there's so many different layers to it. But I go over all of that in the consultation. So I can be pretty direct. I just don't like to overwhelm people right away. But the price list is always available.
So it sounds like the first step for you with most people is you have them book a consultation, and
Hmm.
from there that'll inform you on where to take them next.
Yes.
And is this consultation free or do you charge for a consultation?
Right now, it's free. Um, I will start charging for a consultation soon, but right now it is free. And the charge only is because a lot of times, and I don't know if you know this and certain things that you do, but people will say they're going to show up to something and then don't show up. I've now blocked off my time. My time is precious. And when you just don't show up or you just cancel on me last minute, it's like, okay, life does happen, but it's just like sitting in the chair at the salon, no call, no show at a job. There's some type of penalty or a charge. So right now, like I said, it is free as I'm bringing in new clients, but I will start charging for consultation actually very, very soon. Um, but just because of that in particular. And I mean, they always come back later and say, hey, I want to book, and they'll end up booking. But again, it's that that consultation is so key and it's needed so I can learn, because everybody's session is it's not just one way. It's very different. Everyone is different. So, you know. But yeah, when I block off that time, you just cancel like right at the last minute. It's like, okay. I have stuff to do. I got 3 kids. Like, I am a busy woman.
Yeah, I mean that's your time. It doesn't matter if you're sitting on your butt watching TV for that time. That's still your time.
Period.
You're playing a role in your day.
Period. Yes, exactly.
The easiest way to get people to value your time is to charge for it.
I agree. And that's why I was like, it will start soon. But because I don't have that locked in yet, I'm like, okay, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. You could look up tomorrow and then I'll be fully public and be like, hey, consultations going for this much.
Well, I can personally tell you, ever since I started charging for consultations, I've never had anyone not show up. Yeah.
I believe that. I believe that. Yeah, I had my hairstylist one time. I was actually extremely sick. My lactician. I was extremely sick and I could not go in and I had to cancel last minute. But I didn't want to get her sick. It was definitely contagious.
Mm.
So she had to charge and she did not want to charge me. Like she just did not want to do it. And I just let her know. And she was so worried that like it was gonna be a problem when we had the conversation. And I was like, no, I just wish, because I came back later and was like, hey, no, need to get my wig split. And so it's like, yeah, by the way, you got this good old no-show charge. I'm like, wait, I was trying not to get you sick. So once we get on the phone and had a better understanding, she was like, she did not want to charge me. She was like, I just did not want to. And I had to let her know. I was like, this is your business. I get it. I'm going to pay that charge. And I'm going to cry while I'm sending it to you. And I'm still going to sit in that chair and get these locks redyed. It's gonna be. I will get over it. You're fine. But I've been in her place before, having a suite when I was a medical esthetician, so I already understood. And she was like, you know what? Why did I even think it was gonna be an issue? I should have known that with you, it was just gonna be easy and smooth. And that to me was a gift in itself. Like that made me like, man, like. Let me just pay you ahead of time in case I get sick again. Like that's just how where my brain. I was just in such a space of gratitude for her just seeing me in that moment. But no, I was not going to give you a problem. But a lot of clients give, people a hard time. But no, that's your policy. It wasn't even that much. But it's still, I'm going to cry about it in the car. But I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay.
Right.
So yeah, that's important.
Oh yeah. Well, shoot. Maybe I'll clip this section and talk on YouTube, and it'll just be titled like the do's and don'ts of running a consultation business.
Yeah.
When you become good at something outside of the employee world, I feel like this is a missed opportunity. You should have a consultation business because people are gonna eventually want to pick your brain about some kind of expertise, and they're willing to pay you for it. So
I had to learn that the hard way. So
I
yeah.
think we all have to.
Mhm.
I mean, I talked about this in other shows, so I won't go heavy into it. But when I first became self-employed, about a year into it, like people would be calling me and asking me about like various things, and these weren't just like general questions. There's like deep questions, and I would answer.
Mhm.
And eventually, I started feeling myself kind of getting burned out. I did a, show with her name is Alexis Hasenberg about she's a time management coach, and the
Ooh.
whole conversation was about how to maximize your productivity and avoid burnout. And she has this thing called "You want to stay above the resentment line." So when I felt myself kind of getting burned out, I just started a consultation business. Like, hey, going forward, this is how much it costs to book a session with me. And the stuff I talk about is very expensive information. At the time, I was charging $125 per hour.
Mhm.
Like all the questions dropped off by like 75%.
I tell you what, I wouldn't miss no consultation with you either.
But 25% of people are like, look, Elijah, I don't care about paying you. Like, I just
Yeah.
want your perspective on this and the knowledge that you have. Like, just tell me what your rate is. And
Yeah.
the people that couldn't afford it, well, they could just submit a question on my website and I can make a video about it. So they're still getting
Nice.
information. Yeah.
Nice. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So I would say the next question is everything that we talked about, especially since you're going more public now. How does lead generation work for that? Because I know you've relied heavy on like word of mouth, but you did that purposely because you didn't want the public to like be overwhelming you with all this stuff. But since you are going more public now, do you have like some kind of lead generation strategy to get certain things to get more steam, or are you just going to rely on word of mouth?
Right now, it is mainly word of mouth, but no, I do have a. I've through my research, I have a few strategies in mind that I kind of want to play around with. But right now, it's just word of mouth, and then being direct. That was just always something that I think once I started to find myself more and understand my self worth, along with understanding the calling, because I also love helping people, so that kind of would play a part in it. But people will take advantage of people like that, especially in business. Like you said yourself, like you have a lot of expensive information up there. Same thing. Like I could sit and give a whole blueprint on a lot of different things. It could really just change a person's life. But it's like um, you just have to, it boils down to really knowing your words. So with the strategies that I plan to implement into my services, it definitely will go beyond word of mouth. um, I'll probably, do some promoting and things like that. Not probably, I will, do different promotions and stuff. I think, and then also having a strong network, which I do have in that area, especially. Um, I don't know, word of mouth has always been the bread and butter for me, but I know that technology is a big thing too, so I'll just be utilizing that and just kind of, but I have a pretty strong backing. I have a lot of trust is in that field, really trust period, but definitely in that area. So I don't really stress too much when it comes to that. And then because I have so much going on, it's one of those things like, if it starts to take up most of my schedule, okay, fine, but until that point, I'm just keeping it real simple for right now. But I know that there's a lot of changes I won't speak on yet, but there's a lot of major changes that will be happening with those services. So yeah, the pricing definitely will be there, but as far as strategy goes, yeah, I don't show my hand too much.
Fair enough. It's kind of funny you kind of brought it back to pricing because it was about a maybe year and a half ago, but I was talking to Micah, and he asked me how much I charge for a consultation, and I told him. He asked me how long I've been doing it. I told him. He said, you should be charging more.
see him saying that.
Yeah.
Did you get a whole like list of reasons why too?
Well, we actually were at an event and we were talking like in a group. It was kind of like a networking thing.
Yeah.
So it
Okay.
was, since it wasn't a one-on-one environment, he
Mm,
probably omitted the list.
gotcha.
But
Yeah.
if it was like in a one-on-one environment or maybe a more private environment, yeah, he probably would have gave me the list.
Oh yeah, you'd have got a nice lengthy list or lecture, but it would have been so beneficial. Like mind blown. Mind. That one got a lot up there for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But what you said about like the strong network, I think a lot of people don't realize that lead generation isn't so critical if you already have a strong network because a lot of it can just happen automatically.
Mm-hmm.
But I think so many people are afraid to talk to people nowadays, or they don't actually even know how to network. So, what would be like the best advice you would offer someone like who's listening to this to start networking or build their network up if they're starting from scratch? Like, hey, I just don't know anyone, but I need to start building my network up. What should I do?
So two things. One, I would first start with asking them, is it you don't know anyone or are you scared? Because, scared money don't make no money. Closed mouth don't get fed. All those sayings, they play, those will never die down, right? You got to show up for yourself. Like, that's where I start bringing like my list of do's and don'ts, right? Getting out there and yeah, so not knowing nobody. I'm trying to take I want to say this softly, not be too.
Okay, let's look at it from this perspective. Let's say someone moves to another city, like so they used
And
to
I
live
was,
in.
yeah, I was getting there. I was getting
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I was trying to make sure I don't respond with the military in me. I'm a military brat too. So it's one of those things where you just gotta hop out there and do it. There is a bajillion people in the world, so I
So
don't know.
just Nike that shit.
Right. So if not knowing anyone to me is an excuse. I go to a coffee shop. Like I meet people from different walks, similar walks. They're telling me something. I'm telling them something. I was just buying some castor oil pills the other day, and next thing you know, I'm giving this lady advice on a whole like fat burning regimen for her to do when she wakes up in the rising, and the next thing you know, we're talking about hair growth and things like that. Not knowing anybody is an excuse. We live in a world full of people. If nothing else, there is people. And so, like they say, there's plenty of fish in the sea. There is plenty of people. So when someone says, "Oh, I don't know anyone," well, that's cool because we're talking now. So what's up? What do you need with your business, or because maybe I know someone. Even if I don't need that service or that business, I know someone, or maybe I can just post. Support is free, and I'm big on that. Like support is free. It just to share a post, just to and not just share it on social media. Like telling someone, hey, I know this person that does X, Y, Z. Like you mentioned, the time management lady that you had. Like that's amazing because me and time management, man, that's been a challenge these last couple years with my husband being away. So, but you know not knowing nobody is just an excuse. So what I would say is you just have to get out there. You have to push yourself out there. Every time you go into the store, you walk into Kroger, hey, I like your shoes. Hey, I like this. That's great. Conversation startup. If you're not that type of person, then you need to utilize technology. Because again, not knowing anyone is an excuse when if you I don't care if you have 3 followers or 15. You have 3, not 0. So start with those 3. If they ain't sharing or supporting you, then you need to delete those 3, maybe unfollow, and then you need to go start following some new random people and commenting. Social media, chat GPT, utilizing. Now we have AI. We ain't getting away from it. You know what I mean? So shout out to AI. That's the homie. Not knowing anyone is not an excuse. You have to get out of your own way and literally just step out and talk to people. That's it. Or I need help. Get into these random groups. You can post anonymously. A lot of people don't recommend it, but maybe you post anonymously.
I hate that stuff.
Right. But people will post in the comments and then you can DM them privately if you have questions. But eventually you're going to have to show face because, again, I learned this from, I can't remember. Gosh, I wish I remember where I was at. My brain is like, but I was in a room just a bunch of billionaires basically, and that's when I learned. They were saying, it was like a speaker convention, and I got to go back to like this VIP room or whatever, and they were saying like people invest in people that they trust. So you have to start talking to people so you can gain their trust. And everybody's using somebody in some form or fashion, and it's not all bad. Like if you're around me and you ain't offering nothing, not good energy, a sandwich, a cookie, a happy day, are you okay, hello, anything, what are we doing? Like, I got to keep it moving. I don't even know if there's a soul in there. So it's like, get out there and start asking what you want, speaking what you want into existence, talking to people, and, start attracting that. You don't always have to chase all it. Just start attracting that and be that. And that's just the best advice I can give. You have a mouth, and as long as your mouthpiece works, your throat works, everything works. If your throat don't work, you can write. You can't write, you got feet. And if you ain't got that, man, just pray. But like, there's always a will and a way to network and get people to help you, or get people to just, even if it's just advice. One thing I love is like when I'm around people who do know a little more than me, and they give all this advice. Like even the time, I think when I met you, we were at the cash flow game night. Just knowing all of that for free, like stuff that I was already putting out into the universe, I wanted to know. And I just was like, wow, my mind was blown. And, so it's just really cool learning about different things. And when people are willing to give that for free, and there are people out there like that, you want to take advantage of those times until you can get to the point where you can either pay to be in certain rooms or pay for this knowledge somewhere, but not knowing anyone, that is my ick. Because there's a bajillion people and
That's
somebody
very.
has something for you.
I know you said you're trying not to let the military come out, but I felt it very much.
It's like
I think it's necessary. I think
they're
people
like,
really need to hear it, and they need to feel it too.
listen, overcome and adapt. That's what you got to do. Overcome and adapt. That's really what I wanted to say. No excuses.
I like that. I like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we're about to start winding down the show in a little bit, but I always hit my guests with a question if they have a question they want to hit me with. But you got to make me a promise. You know what that promise is?
Hmm.
Don't ask me why I started the Side Hustler Society, because the audience will put a assassination contract on you. They've heard that like 5 times, and they don't want to hear that question ever again because it's hard hearing it. So aside from that question, do you have any questions you want to hit me with?
Aside from that question, hmm, let's see. What is a gift that you have that no one would know, that you could make money off of?
Then no one would know.
Yeah, like a hidden talent, a hidden gift.
That's hard because I know the answer, but I can't say I haven't made any money off of it.
But you could make money, like if you wanted to. And
No,
if
no,
you,
I am currently making money off it, so I can't. That
oh,
wouldn't count, right?
okay.
So I got to dig a little deeper, I guess. Um,
Dig a little
you know
deeper.
what? I got something. Okay.
That looked like a gun for a second. I was like,
Oh,
whoa.
this comb looks like a gun.
I don't have my glasses. I just saw black come up, and you was like, I got some. I was like, okay.
What kind of movies you be watching on the weekends? Good
Man,
grief!
Bad Boys 2.
It's not like I said something like from Scarface, like say hello to my little friend or something like that.
Right.
Okay,
It's,
here's my answer. Um, I would say that a lot of people know that I'm good with people, and some people say I need to find a way to monetize it. I don't exactly know how though. And there's ways I indirectly make money off of it, but I mean like in a more direct way. Like there's a channel on YouTube called like Charisma on Command,
mm-hmm.
and like something that he has like a whole course on. How I've never taken it. I've watched some of his content. I find it kind of interesting because he likes to break down like he can kind of predict who's going to win the presidential election just based on charisma and how they're debating.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been right so far. So I was like, that's kind of interesting. So he has like a whole course and like products on how to be more charismatic through body gestures, through perspective, like all that kind of stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's cool. I almost feel like I could do something similar, not necessarily like for charisma, but just for how to make friends and connections because it's something that I do kind of on autopilot effortlessly. And if we're gonna get into the whole more spiritual side, I don't know how you feel about astrology. How do you feel about astrology?
I love astrology. Like what? I just told you. Listen.
Look,
Yeah.
I just wanted to have a disclaimer out there. Like, let me confirm first. I suspected, let me confirm.
Okay.
My moon is in Aquarius, so
Okay.
that's why networking and stuff comes very very natural to me.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else that I've taught, I went through a process on learning it. Like, there's a process I learned how to quote unquote Airbnb in real estate. There's a process on how to become successful on YouTube, and I had to learn it. That's the one thing I didn't have to learn a process. It was just always in me to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So sitting down, kind of decoding that, and maybe making a course or some digital products on how to make connections and friends, because I didn't know the ability to make friends is such a lost skill nowadays. If you
Yeah.
look online, people are like literally, legitimately, they don't know how to make friends,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and there's probably like room to monetize that. To be honest,
I would love to. Mm-hmm. I would love to. Yeah, we could talk. We could talk about that. There's definitely a way to monetize that.
yeah, that's true.
I don't know if I want to say it on here yet because I don't need nobody to go take my idea. But I would definitely collab with you on it. But I'm like, I would save that for another episode or something. I'm like, I don't know, but you definitely could. Yeah.
Maybe we'll save that combo for offline. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, people are really shopping for friends now. Like literally shopping or begging, like, friend. Everybody wants to meet up and form new friends. Or hey, I didn't have these great friendships, so I want these. People are looking for sisterhood and brotherhood, and I think it's beautiful. And so you know, but there's so much that goes into just having new friends. And so yeah, like I'm not big on just calling anyone my friend. I would be like, yeah, we're building. Like, oh, my friend, and it took me a while to get to that, trying to set up that boundary, but it's like we're building, because it's nothing. It's personal, but it ain't personal to them. It's just more like, you call everybody your friend, and people want to be friends, so it's time to do some friend stuff, and so there's a lot of,
Okay,
friendship.
so you're my friend. Okay, so I need you to come over and help me paint the garage tomorrow. Could you do that?
Right? Yeah, I'm about to be over there. What time? You got brushes. Do I need to pick them up? That's what a friend would do. Then you got the not friend that's like, so how long I gotta stay? Did you call you? Hey, did you call Mike? Did you call Mike? Like, see what he doing? You gonna have food? Like,
Wow. You know
gotta.
what? I'm the same way. I don't use the term friend lightly. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. To be honest, this kind of cruel, but I'm just being honest. I probably have a level of like one sided friendships, and I
Mm.
don't mean that to hurt anyone's feelings, but there's a lot that comes into play for me to consider you a friend, but a lot of people consider me their friend, but their standards for a friend is lower, and that's not my fault. It's really not. But when you come in contact with so many people, you have a friendship filter. There's no way to avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that in the yeah. You hit the nail on the head with that one.
See, this is a good example of like I didn't go through a process to have this perspective. It was just in me because the moon in Aquarius. So I
Mm.
could probably literally make an ebook or like a mini course breaking that whole thing down, putting a friendship filter in place, and putting people in the right categories so that you don't get frustrated when they don't do certain things. Well, that's an associate. That's not a friend. Let me make sure I label them right. And then
Right.
when someone is a real genuine friend, you know what? I'm gonna shut up because I'm thinking of what you're thinking. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this stuff on cameras. Someone might be getting some ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're right though, and I like where you were going with it. And it took me a long time to get there. I used to call everybody my friend, but a lot of that came from moving around or switching places too much, to where it was, being a military brat is not easy. So trying to heal that inner child friendship wound and inner child wound of wanting just that, there's some people that got to grow up with certain friends, and yeah. And then I have friends I kept in touch with. Luckily, a lot of them were military, so they kind of understood, or we got to stay connected through other friends through them. So like my childhood friends, but I think learning how to place your friends and learning which friends are which too is key. Like, this is back when I used to club, it's my club friends, and not taking it personal if they don't want to come sit at home and eat ice cream with me, or just chill and watch movies because I want to watch Bad Boys 2 or Friday. Like, do you want to do that? That's not your steez. Okay, you want to see me next Friday, cool. But I got the friends that's like, girl, we'll come over and chill and eat, I don't even eat ice cream, but back in the day, ice cream and food and snacks, and we can, have this chill time. Then you got your friends you can work out with, so it's, and then once you can talk business with. And once I had to really learn how to work that and navigate that, because it used to be, oh, my friend. But then again, it's like, oh, okay, you don't know how to be a friend. Like you said, the standards are lower. Then I'm like, why are you calling me a friend again? Why are we friends? Like, then they get offended.
Yeah, the categories of friends is pretty important too. I'll say this and I'll move on because I know people might be like, Elijah, should the show be called the Friendship Society?
It's
No,
just a little bit of everything. We just go a little bit of everything.
but
This episode was a pot of gumbo, okay?
right. But yeah, I have a stellium in the 11th house when it comes to astrology. So I have the sign Sagittarius. Then I have Mars, Saturn, and Mercury all in the 11th house. And the 11th house deals with friendships.
Yes.
So that means that there's a lot of different types of people that I become friends with. But someone who's a friend that comes to the veggie outers, I probably shouldn't take them to like this pit bull like business conference for like self-employed entrepreneur 30-day challenge. Like, no, different
Yeah.
category.
Different category. Unless they showed interest, because
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
So Yoshi, where can people get more of you? Because you have a very eccentric and charismatic personality. I'm sure people want to know, hey, how can I, follow her? She says she's a content creator. Like, where can I get more of her content? Or, hey, maybe if you're accepting new clients for some of the services you mentioned, they might want to book you.
Yeah. So on all social media platforms, I've now switched it to Yoshi is me. Excuse me. So just like what's on the screen right here, Yoshi is me. The MEI is motivating, empowering, inspiring. It can switch up and be I for invigorating, but all three letters definitely mean something. I show that through all my work. So it's like all different personalities. I feel same, but different, like from TikTok to IG. But definitely, I think IG would be best. I don't accept a lot of people on my personal Facebook, but there is another page a lot of people tend to find me on and follow me there, which was Yoshi Wasted. I will probably be, I may or may not, haven't decided yet, but moving that to Yoshi is me. But for right now, it's Yoshi Wasted for that Facebook one, because I won't accept anybody on the other one. That's like really personal. Not really, but you know what I mean. Not anyone that I haven't had like a connection with. But yeah, Instagram, TikTok. I gotta get my YouTube together, but for right now, but it's up. But yeah, Instagram, TikTok, that'll be the best way. Yoshi is me.
Cool. So we'll be sure to leave links to that in the description. And we appreciate y'all for tuning in to the Side Hustler Society podcast today. You can give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm if you're watching on there. Much appreciated. And if you're watching us on Spotify now, since they have video now, feel free to drop a rating for us or a review on Apple. Very much appreciated. We'll catch y'all in the next episode. Be safe and be profitable, everyone.
Peace.
This episode may be over, but your hustling journey has just started. Visit thesidehustlersociety.com to access all links and resources mentioned in the show that will help you on your hustler's journey.